And the second game taking place on Altazim's stronghold with JYP starting to the top left. The starting player for the Evil Geniuses able to take down Tasia in the first game. The Terran player for Team Liquid a bit too overconfident with this bio push out. Did not build any bunkers back at home, and then when JYP blinked into the main base, there was just nothing that Tasia could do. His Marauders got sniped immediately. Stim wasn't done just yet, and JYP taking down all the units, focusing the Stim research in the tech lab, and then Tasia tapping out. So the Team Liquid player not taking a single map, and that shocked TL fans quite a bit. Now it's time for Snute, on the other hand, to change things up a bit. We have a Protoss versus Zerg in this second map. Starting to the bottom left, we currently see the TL player, and well, let's find out what exactly Snute can do. It's a very big map, and it's one of those maps where you see a whole lot of variety of openings, not only from Protoss players but also from Zergs. A lot of Zerg players will go into double hatch before a pool here because they expect the Protoss to go straight into a Nexus early on, since there's only a single ramp that you have to defend if you want to get that early Nexus. So a double hatch before pool, not really all that uncommon, but a lot of Zerg players, especially recently, have been starting to just throw down a... Oh wow, look at that. Goes into a pool first. Didn't expect that. I was just about to mention that a lot of them just go into a normal hatch first into pool build and try to play a little bit more, just a little bit more solid with that. But going into the spawning pool first, what we saw a couple of times is just a player trying to get the spawning pool out there so that he gets the queen faster and then drops the double hatch very, very fast after that, cutting down on the drone production a little bit and also not getting any additional Zerglings. Might be what we're going to see here. The hatch has already been started. So far, pretty standard, what you would see on any other map as well. But this is a massive, massive map. It's the biggest map in the pool right now, so Snute might just go for it and take that third very early on in the game anyways. For JYP, on the other hand, we have not only the Nexus first, but also as the second structure, the Forge. And therefore, he might be in a spot where he could also try to cannon his opponent a little bit. For now, it's just about the probe, finding out if there are early Zerglings rushing towards that base. A second probe has been sent out, so you can really see that JYP is playing this very careful. He's not trying to play too greedy. He has the probe there for a very good reason. Wants to make sure that he sees early links coming in immediately. And he gets a very good scout off as well. That probe already spotting the starting position, and JYP is moving towards that natural, wants to double check if it's really there. I guess, no, actually he's just trying to get, well, I'm not quite sure where. Okay, he's trying to get go for the second gas, trying to find out there's gas taken, sees the gas, sees the hatch, therefore all good in the hood, and the Zergling with the first blood here for his, for his team. So at this point we have the second hatch also started, as already mentioned before, roughly around 420. Not quite though, so this is pretty much the opening that most players would go for if they realize that they are up against a Forge opening, which is something that Snute doesn't really know, but as I said before, it's a big map, so you can get away with that quite easily. Overlord already in position where he can have a good look at that natural of his opponent. The Zergling trying to rush in. That will not happen. With the photon cannon all the way at the front, there's very little chance of that Zergling being able to get through, so the Zergling goes down, dies a painful death, and gets vaporized by the photon cannon. And starting to the top left, let's see what exactly JYP is going to do. For now, it's the cybernetics core that he wants to finish, of course. Once that's done, we're going to find out what kind of tech he chose for game number 2. Because the thing is that right now, Oracles are pretty solid on this map. In general, everything that can bounce between the 3 bases that you see there at the bottom left is really solid. So even if you have very good Warp Prism control, for example, you can really make that work as well. We have seen that in the recent past too, but it is indeed the Stargate as already suggested. So we're gonna see that. The positioning of the Stargate is at this point quite interesting because he wants to hide that, of course, and he had the opportunity to just maybe build it over here. The one thing that he doesn't know is if there's an Overlord already in position over there. He knows that there's most likely one down here, so he doesn't want to build the Stargate anywhere over here since it's just way too easy to spot this for the Overlord. Building it all the way at the front means that he will be able to hide that unless there's another Zergling running up that ramp to die for the cause. If another Zergling commits suicide over here against the cannon, then of course the Stargate would be spotted. And JYP opens things up with a Phoenix, not going into the Oracle here, but it's going to be the Phoenix, and he might be able to just take down that Overlord. I think that, was already spotted by the Stalker, got a couple of shots off here, so the Phoenix is going to take that down, and then we will see a reaction by Snute, who also missed out on that probe that we have hovering here for JYP, already putting down one pylon there for the warp-ins. But for now, it's all about the harvesters. 43 against 44. As you can see, Snute has only a single Zergling, 4 queens so far for the defense. Build a couple of more lings, but still really committing to the harvesters here. And of course, a creep spread at this point in the game is also going to help him quite a lot. On this map, we occasionally even see those immortal pushes. We see blink stalker commitments, and if you have a really good creep spread right off the bat, then you will get that slide speed advantage over your opponent, which is always pretty amazing. So the Lings is trying to make sure that there's no third base for JYP yet. And then the Phoenixes are moving across the map with all those extra queens. They shouldn't be able to do too much here, especially since we now also have the Spore Crawlers building. But the queens have to be careful that they are not just simply stray on the map. That would be a big problem for them. We have more pylons being built for JYP right now, and he's also taking down a couple of harvesters here. Second Spore Crawler being built in the mineral line now that he sees that JYP is really committing to Phoenixes and not only building like 1 or 2 of them. So far, drones killed 3, and also of course hunting down that single overlord that we saw earlier. Queen trying to go astray here for a little bit, but immediately moved back by Snute. He knows that if he wanders off with one of those queens, it's going to be taken out immediately. But so far, Snute can just push the creep forward, which is going to help him against the ground army that we're going to see for JYP at some point. Another overlord might get a transfuse here. Yep, it does. The queens are in a good position to save the overlord. So for now, doing a really nice job against his opponent's moves. We have Roach War now being built, Hydra Den, double evolution chamber, all the tech thrown out there. And for now, it's time for those warp-in zealots to do some damage. There's no spine crawler, and there are nearly no units. He's building the zealots now as we speak, and now the Phoenixes are moving in. The extractor is immediately being attacked, and once the extractor is gone, it's going to be lights out for all of those queens. The extractor is down, and the first queen is already history. The second one being attacked. Those zealots still trying to do the damage, but it's all about the Phoenixes right now. They're moving in, taking down queen after queen, and so far was able to take down 3 of them. The 4th is also dying, and we still have a couple of zealots going ham on that 3rd base. Moving in now once again, another queen being taken out. Triple queen production now for Snute. He doesn't have a single one left, and it's time for the overlords to die. And JYP moving in with this pretty sweet move and taking down another overlord. Has to move back though, since the double Spore Crawl is already done, but those zealots, they are not done yet. They take down more harvesters, 55 Zerglings killed and 14 drones. Another round of warp-ins in the main base where we see an additional pylon for JYP. Just put that into place. Warps in another round of zealots already, and at this point things are looking really good for JYP. He has the +1 attack upgrade as well that helps him of course against his opponent's Zerglings. Finally some roaches, and also of course Hydralisks appearing in the game, and even the Spore Crawler is walking into the main base trying to help out here, but the Phoenixes are still looking for the kills. The harvester count is 53 against 57 in favor of the Protoss player, who sends in another round of units. Even the Mothership Core is also here to help out. The Phoenix is still trying to take down a unit or 2, and they find the queen, kill it immediately, and then can move back from that Spore Crawler. So JYP doing a great job here, and he's still active with all those zealots. He's still taking down units. As you can see, 21 harvesters killed, roaches killed, 7 queens in total. This is absolutely gigantic. Look at all that damage done. 5,000 resources lost in total against 2,700. This is absolutely brutal against Snute. Of course, the Zerg player still has his 3 bases against the 2 of JYP, but the Protoss player is already moving out, claiming that Nexus here. And things are looking very good, especially since the Phoenixes are now active at that natural, taking down even more overlords. There's very little that Snute can do right now. Another overlord already biting the dust, and this is a massacre. I mean, this is a bloodbath that we see here. This is Snute just getting demolished by JYP, at least thus far. The harvester count is 48 against 61. The economy really solid for the Protoss player. And JYP, he was sorely missed in the match against Team Acer, but right now he is absolutely in a position where he can not only take down Tasia, but maybe even eliminate Snute from the tournament. The 3rd base, of course, under attack right now, but it's not only about the Phoenixes. By now, JYP is in a possession of his first Colossus. He's about to get the range upgrade. He is on the way to get +2 attack. And in terms of upgrades, he's already far ahead of his opponent. Well, actually, it's 1-1 against 1-1, but if you consider all the other upgrades that he's currently getting, he has a very solid position in the game. The one thing that I really like for Snute is that despite all things considered, he still has his Hive Tech on the way. He's also going into the Pathogen Glands, so he had to deal with a lot here. This was a lot of stress thrown against him, and he was really pressured, but he still was trying to hold on for as long as he could. Lost a ton, don't get me wrong, but he's still not down just yet. He's way behind, but at least he's now in a way where he can get the Infestors out, where he has the upgrades for his Hydralisk, and can start to stabilize a little bit again. It's gonna be difficult for him to hold this push on the other hand, as you can see. Maybe with the help of the Infestors he can make something happen, but it's double Colossi that's already moving in, and with the help of the Observer also the Creep Tumors are being taken out here. So this is he's absolutely going to demolish Snute if the Zerg player doesn't be careful. With a couple of really good fungals, he might be able to prevent JYP from taking him down now, but it's also about the Phoenixes. If they swoop in and lift those Infestors, he's going to be in trouble. First fungal is pretty awesome so far. The force fields are also not too bad, is able to take down half of the roaches. Another fungal hits home, but by now the Infestors are getting taken out, and that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. Another lift and the Infestor is gone. No more energy on the ones that are remaining, and in terms of army supply at this point, we have already 45 against 69, and JYP is moving in with this entire army right now, trying to take down that third base. The Vipers are finally here, but it's a little bit too late. They don't have the energy just yet, and they don't really have a lot of time for the consume either. So now it's just about the units that Liquid Snute still has in the game, and those are not too many, just a couple of roaches and a couple of queens. That's about it, and we still have those Colossi for JYP. Snute can't even get close to them. There's nothing that he can really do to take them down. He needs those Yanks, he needs the Abducts, and maybe he can finally get them, but it's always those Phoenixes staying at the front trying to shield the Colossi. Finally an Abduct, but the blink forward follows immediately, and of course this looks like it's gonna be game. Snute already down to 78 supply, and JYP at 140 is clenching out another weapon for his team. It's a 2-0 for EG against Team Liquid. Snute and Tasia dying to the wrath of JYP, and we are gonna head straight into game number 3 here at the ASR Team Story Cup Season 3.